Spence said he still ranks the Brook fight as the best win on his resume. He believes that his body of work over his career is also better than adversary and WBO welterweight champion Terence Crawford, who was sitting ringside to watch Spence's miraculous comeback following a near-fatal car accident last year. As far as opponents, I feel like I'm over Crawford in that category, said Spence. A Porter rematch may be good. The first fight was an exciting fight. The second one would probably be like the first one. Spence also shared that he's become increasingly annoyed of having to answer inquiries about Crawford when he's preparing for a different fighter. I get tired of people asking me about him, Terence Crawford, when I have a fight coming up. People asking me about Terence Crawford 2 days before I'm fighting Danny Garcia, said Spence. I feel like they're being dismissive of Danny Garcia. When I don't have a fight coming up, I don't get tired of it. It comes with the territory. When you're in the same weight class, you're going to get those questions.
Alright, let's talk about Errol Spence and his claim to having a better body of work than Terence Bud Crawford. Like I said, on a casual level, Terence Crawford needs to go ahead and give in to being B-side. The fact that he wants to try to go A-side for A-side with Errol Spence only holds up progress. The only thing Terence Crawford needs to do is to get this man in the ring. Who cares how you enter the ring? And I think Terence Crawford is kind of used to being the underdog or not being the person. Terence Crawford is not the guy who commands a lot of attention. He doesn't need all the glitz and the glamour and the praise and the cameras and the interviews. He's not that type of guy. So I don't see no problem with him taking, you know what I'm saying, the B side of the equation. Of course, I've already said this, you know what I'm saying? And keep in mind, let me reiterate, I am a Terence Crawford supporter. I am not a Errol Spence fan. But do you see how it's not hard for me to call something as I see it? This is something that you can't get from these fanboys. I just have to reiterate this because I do this time and time and time again. Yet people seem to think that it's something personal. No. I kick that shit from the gut. I kick the shit God loves. I talk the truth. If you can't handle truth, then I'm not somebody you would like. I'm not a channel that you should be subscribed to. I'm not even somebody that you should check your notifications for. I've said this, but back to Errol Spence. Now, as far as the body of work at the 147-pound division, yes, I said Spence is set up nicely. He is. He is. There's no way around it. Now, I could go around and say, you fought a dead Danny Garcia. You fought Mikey Garcia coming up 2 weight classes. You fought Kell Brook coming off an eye injury. Lamont Peterson was a burnout at that time. You know what I'm saying? I could easily do that to Spence and it would be accurate and true. Okay? Because they smoke screens. But let's skip that. Let's just talk about the names, because that's really all we're talking about here at the end of the day, especially when they talk about fighting a Manny Pacquiao. The only thing they talk about is a name. You're not talking about the skill set and the athletic prowess of Manny Pacquiao. You're just talking about his name. So let's just talk about the name. As far as name, yes, Spence is the guy. Yes. But this is what I will always say. You could say you have a better resume. You could say that you have better names. But this is the part that would bother me, and I hope you guys are listening up. Even with all that praise, even with all that Mayweather clout that Errol Spence got, even with all those names, and even with the fan base that you have, don't you find it mighty odd that you, at 147 pounds, having the decorated, so-called decorated resume that you have, don't you find it a little odd that the #1 fighter is somebody who you claim is under you, but the rest of the world recognize is above you, but yet he doesn't have your decorated resume? Ask yourself, how is that possible? How can people still think this guy is the number one pound for pound fighter in the world and in your weight division, but yet you have a better resume than him? What does that say? Are you just resumes? Are you just a smoke screen? You see how you run straight into that wall right there? That's what you really got to ask yourself. If the man is really the truth, how come he's always, and this is if he makes the pound for pound, how come he's always 4th or 5th or under Triple G? Well, actually, let me not say that, because Triple G is not supposed to be on there. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, you have all those achievements, all that praise, all that hype, all that fame. And yet to the entire boxing world, this guy is not just king of your division, but he's the number one guy in boxing, period. That don't bother you? And even more important than that, how do you have all that resume and you can't even get the number 2 spot up under him? Yes, I made that long pause on purpose, just for that shit to sink in even harder. Once again, let me say it again so I can drill it in deep. You have that declarated resume. You beat this guy, that guy, this guy, that guy, and that guy. Yet, they don't consider you a pound for pound number 1 fighter over somebody who you claim is underachieving, hasn't fought anybody, haven't proven themselves, and that you said you would stop. Errol Spence fans, fanboys, my bad. Fanboys, y'all answer that question. Is the whole boxing world biased and blind and dumb? Yeah, to a large degree, but not the whole boxing world. How come people don't claim this guy is the number 1 guy? Because truthfully, when you look at Errol Spence, skills is not something that you say. Even Errol Spence don't describe himself standing behind skill. All he attributes to himself is power. Him and Charlo, power. They never talk about how much skill set they got. And if you got all that skill set and you outbox Floyd Mayweather, how come you couldn't outbox Sean Porter? How did you get outboxed by the brawler, the street fighter? How? How did Mikey Garcia go 12 rounds with you coming up 2 weight classes and you're this power guy? The power guy that said that you would stop Crawford. How? People don't like me because I use common sense. I'm good at connecting things. I'm good at revealing things. And I'm a master at discernment. That's your real problem. Because had you cats be honest and was honest, you can handle what I say. Because he was like, man, he just telling the truth. That's it. Like they say, man, the truth is outlawed, man. But the truth of the matter is, if you're so much above Terence Crawford, how come the boxing world don't recognize you as that? Okay? Nobody sees you stopping Terence Crawford. You didn't stop Mikey Garcia or Danny Garcia. Either or. But nonetheless, I'm saying a fight coming off of that car accident was an excellent display. It was an excellent gesture. That's something that I want to see from Errol Spence. I praise that. I alley-oop that. I champion that. He moves and does stuff like that more often. You will hear a different tune coming out of my mouth. But until then, I'm going to stay honest. Don't care who don't like it, what fanboy get mad about it, who unsubscribe. I mean, you guys should have figured this out by now. I'm not nobody who's affected by subscribers. My subscriber base going up or down will not affect my content and how I feel. I will stay the same motherfucker I was the day that I got on here. No matter what. Balls to the wall. Okay? Walking against the rain. Me by my goddamn self. Don't need an army. I'm a whole nation. I got it. I got this. The question is, do you got yours? And if you got yours, you wouldn't be worried about mine. That's just my opinion at the end of the day. But you can leave your thoughts in the comment section. Bruce, man, I'm out.